Donald Trump, he's got roughly a dozen billionaires supporting him. There's about 100 other billionaires who support Hillary Clinton, but some of the Trump billionaires are on your screen right now. And one of them is with us right now. That would be Wilbur Ross, Trump economic advisor. You are still a billionaire, I trust?
As of yesterday.
And you're still getting good tables at New York restaurants because you're a billionaire. Is that true? Why is it that all the other billionaires, there must be a couple of hundred of them, they go for Hillary Clinton? Why do they do that? I thought Trump was supposed to be all for the rich.
Well, he's not all for the rich. He's already made clear he's going to do away with carried interest getting a favorable tax treatment, which comes directly out of me and several of the other people that you had on the screen. So it's silly to say that he's pro-billionaire. Fact is, a family of a married couple, 2 children and a nanny earning $50,000 a year get a 30-some-odd% tax reduction under Trump.
Right.
Same family with $75,000 also gets over a 30% deduction. Same family with $5 million gets a 1% reduction.
So you're saying that that's the way to grow the economy. That's why Wilbur Ross, billionaire, is for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't mind paying a little more because I think he'll spend it wisely. What I do object to is paying more tax and having it piddled away.
Look, you're a business guy. You know what you're doing. What do you think about Trump and trade? Because that all conservatives, a lot of wealthy people say to me, you know, that's the one area where I've really got a problem, trade. The 35% tariff on stuff coming in from China. How do you address that?
Well, first of all, that's not what he said. What he actually said was, if it turns out that the Chinese are manipulating their currency by as much as 45%, and if negotiations fail, it may become necessary to threaten them with something like as much as a 45% tariff.
So it's a negotiating
That's a far
position.
cry. Right, exactly. That's a far cry from saying, oh, it's going to be trade World War III.
Yeah,
that's not
right.
what he said. And
a
it's not what he
negotiating
means.
position, up front, take a hard stance. This will happen if you don't do that.
Exactly.
You do that kind of thing in business, wouldn't you?
Well, and he and I have done it to each other.
Are you hardcore like that if you get face to face? I'm not asking, okay? But I do have this question. One criticism of the Trump economic plan is that it produces a whopping great big deficit and adds to the debt. What say you?
Well, it's not true. That's only true if you look at it in isolation. What Trump proposed and what we tried to explain to the Tax Policy Center a couple of weeks ago is he has proposed an integrated proposal. Yes, there are tax cuts, score them on a dynamic basis, and there's a deficit, 2.6 trillion, something like that. But when you factor in the regulatory relief of a couple of $100 billion, factor in the trade, reducing the trade deficit and the positive taxes that produces from more earnings here, and you unleash energy, it isn't. It's revenue neutral.
That's the dynamic accounting.
Yes.
The other guys go with static accounting.
Yeah, but let's just be clear what's the difference. Static account just takes account for tax. So if all you do is reduce tax, obviously the budget deficit increases.
Yep.
If all you do is raise tax, which is what Mrs. Clinton is proposing, people say, wonderful, that's positive revenue. That's great, but what does it do to the economy? For example, she's proposing $275 billion more taxes on business. That's about 7.5% of total business income. It's 1.5% of the total economy. Tell me what that's going to do.
I have one last question. You say you've done business face-to-face with Donald Trump?
Yes.
Negotiated with him? Who won?
I think we made a fair arrangement.
Have you done it frequently with Donald Trump?
Well, these were back in the bankruptcies of his casinos, and it's interesting. Both Carl Icahn and I were on the bondholder side of the equation. We're both supporting him. So we feel that he handled himself in a very honorable fashion in the bankruptcy, which is not necessarily characteristic of your average debtor.
Well said.
Interesting.
Well, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
You should get that story out, because that's good stuff. Wilbur Ross, billionaire, one of the few to support Trump. You like that label, of course you do.
No, I like the idea that I'm supporting Trump better.
All right. Wilbur, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right.